Peacemaker. So coming off the success of his Suicide Squad movie, James Gunn just said, I got time in quarantine, I'm going to write a Peacemaker show. Warner Bros. is like, okay, cool, we have a streaming service, you can put this on, why don't we film it? And they did. That's the story of Peacemaker. I'm like, that's cool to me. That I think is one of my favorite things in modern Hollywood. Where I'm like, a guy just wanted to make something and he got to make it the way he wanted to. That's really cool. I'll say that and I'll be like, I'm probably more sour on Peacemaker than a lot of people. So I cannot wait to get into it. I do want to start off by saying this because I feel like it's an important thing to understand. There's two things actually I want to say. First off, James Gunn makes this shit look easy. He knows exactly how to tell a superhero story, exactly how to tell a character arc. He is a masterclass director and storyteller. He's brilliant. He knows how to do this. He knows where to put the camera. He knows what to get his actors to do. It's super impressive and super cool. He's also very derivative. And I might get some hate for that, but I'm just going to say it. I mean this just in terms of the filming he makes and the films he does and the stories he tells. James Gunn gives off the same filmatic vibes as somebody like Joss Whedon. I'm not talking about their personal life. I'm not talking about that whatsoever. I just mean, you see the cliches. You see exactly where they do the same artistic style over and over again. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing about Peacemaker. Vigilante is just Drax. Hardcourt is just Gamora. Peacemaker himself is just a little bit more of a douchey version of Star-Lord. That's it. They're the same characters. There's not much else different about them. And that's okay. That is fine. You can homage yourself. You can parody yourself. It's cool. Because the show works really well. The most impressive thing about this show is taking a really stupid character and making them special. And that's James Gunn's just wheelhouse. But Peacemaker's different than that, because Peacemaker sucks. Like, the character himself is just a stupid parody of an action hero with a stupid costume and a dumb concept. You know, there's like the racist undertones and the stupid bigotry behind the character and all that stuff. But James Gunn's like, no, what if we turn that into an actual story about a man who would do anything for peace, suddenly realize he wouldn't do anything for peace, and how does that affect him, knowing the circumstances he grew up in, knowing the circumstances he's working for this shadowy government figure. It's very well done. It's handled in a great way, and I think a lot of that has to come down to John Cena, because nobody plays a lovable goofball like John Cena. He's just the perfect branch of sincerely stupid and stupidly sincere. It's a great combination, and he makes it work really well. He looks fit, he looks thick, he just gets it, and Peacemaker is the perfect role for him, because there's just a stupid tone to the way he says everything, where he thinks he's being an ally, he thinks he's saying the right thing, but it just comes across as like a dumb white guy raised by a white supremacist saying this stuff. And that's an authentic thing to see. I really like that they let him be vulnerable in here. I really think that's an important key factor of this character, where he can be big and tough, but at the end of the day, he's just soft and broken, and he has some great character moments where he learns to build himself up from those places. That's a really cool thing to see. John Cena is the best in this show. I will say Danielle Brooks' Adebayo is really good too. That is a fun character that I thought could be derivative, but that was probably, in my opinion, the most original character James Gunn put in this movie. Just because she was so different than the status quo we've seen before, and it worked really well. And they have great chemistry when they're playing opposite each other. The rest of the characters, I got it. I got it instantly. Full disclosure, I did not like Vigilante. I thought the joke got tiresome after the second episode. And I think it would just bother me every time they would just intentionally leave time in the runtime for you to laugh at his joke or to have a strong reaction to the stupidity he's saying. I do like the way Steve Agee is like playing against that, where he's just aggressively like, are you dumb? Why are you talking this stupidly? Vigilante bothered me. I think it's impressive they got Freddie Stroma in here so soon after the first guy like stopped due to scheduling or whatever. That's impressive, and he does play a good sociopathic weirdo. It's a really strong performance. It's just tiresome, and it doesn't do anything. He learns some stuff along the way, but then he just goes back to his same self, and that just didn't add anything to me. I didn't really like that. Same with the character of Harcourt. I got it. I got it. It's Gamora. I got it, dude. You wrote a role for your girlfriend. I get it. I am not saying anything bad about that whatsoever. I get it, dude. I would do the same in a heartbeat. The character was just so obvious. It's the Gamora story. She's angry at first. She's working for this other person. She switches to this side where she's kind of more in support of everything going on. She learns to love her adopted family. It's simple. It's easy. I get it. It's fun. Jennifer Holland's a okay actress. I mean, I'm not going to criticize her performance too much. She'd do more stuff than I ever could on screen, so I get it. She's doing fine. She's doing great. I did enjoy that part. And Myrn, yeah, okay, I get it. Like, it's just like a switcheroo at the end there. I got you. Makes sense to me. One of my biggest criticisms with this show, and this might just be because, like, the way it was written and the style it was going for, every character learns something off screen and then explains that they learned it to another character later. It happens about 3 separate times in the show, where one character will learn something, they're like, oh my goodness, did you know this? And they're like, yeah, I learned this here. And then in another episode, the character will be like, yes, I was aware of you being this person from that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I gotcha. It is what it is. It was just like, okay, that's enough. But the story is a great story. James Gunn's good at this. It's like taking a concept and making it something fun. It's very Invasion of the Body Snatchers, very just like a lowbrow kind of schlucky, violent B movie, and it works really well. Like, that theme works for this character really well. And I love that they don't shy away from the comic booky nature of it, because that is the key to this. That is the key that makes this work, is just like we're leaning into the stupidity in the camp. Stupid helmets, stupid costumes, stupid eagles, stupid everything. And it works well. For some reason, they make a lot of racist jokes in this show, and some of them are funny. I don't understand it, because the villain's a white supremacist, and there's jokes at his expense, and they make jokes about, like, how do you say Oriental or Asian? I think if it was a lesser writer, those jokes would just feel so unnecessary and cheap. But the fact that Gunn was like, I know how to tell a joke, it worked well. And I gotta say, using White Dragon, not a villain I would have picked, but hey, man, it's cool. It worked. I gotcha. Made sense to me. A perfect introduction there. Robert Patrick was a great choice for that role just because he looks like a white supremacist. That's nothing against him. He's a swell guy, I'm sure. But man, really good choice. Judo Master, an interesting one too. They really changed up some stuff with that character, but it worked. I have no complaints against what they did there, and I thought that was pretty fun. Everything about the show's classic James Gunn. If you like classic James Gunn, it's going to work for you. The soundtrack's amazing. The way that, Star-Lord was kind of like the 80s pop era guy. Well, Peacemaker's the hair metal moving, just like grooving, just like the intensity stuff. And there's some great songs that come from that. And it's just a really fun show that has a great attitude to it. And I think that's one of the most impressive things about this, is that you can take a character so uninteresting like Peacemaker and just be like, nah, we got some actual story to tell of him. That's impressive to me. There are some really good cameos towards the end of the show. I do want to say this, because this goes just in terms of everything, in terms of comic book movies and television. I don't understand why people get so surprised when like a big cameo happens. This is comic books. Every comic book, every arc has like a character randomly show up for no reason. It shouldn't be a surprise to you that people that are in this world show up in this world. The fact that people overreact, I'm like, oh, the actor's back. I'm like, yes, they're back. They want to make money and get people to watch their movie. So of course they'd be back. Not surprising in the slightest. But I did enjoy myself watching this show. I did understand the beats, and I think some of the character moments made me tired at the end. I'm just like, yeah, okay, I gotcha. And it did feel oddly paced at times, but the action was great. The cinematography was great. The writing was great. Everything that needed to work to make this work for the people that were hesitant on it, I think did a great job. And that shows in the numbers, because it was like the #1 watched streaming show, and it got renewed already for another season. So that's cool. That's impressive. I dig that about Peacemaker. I think it's kind of cool that a show like this, with a character so dumb and schlucky, is finding an audience among the people. And it just goes to show you, this is easy to make. These shows are so easy to make right. You just get a colorful cast of characters, a great script, you homage a different type of thing, you add in some silly jokes, you make it a little more adult, your audience comes to you. It's easy, and that's not a problem. It's just like, why do we mess this up sometimes? Look how easy it is to get right. So, commends to James Gunn and John Cena for turning a stupid character into somebody relevant who is probably going to get a bigger push in the second season. So Peacemaker, season number 1, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out, motherfucker. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.